Good afternoon, friends. I welcome you all to this Curtain Raiser media briefing on the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference 2023, scheduled to be held from 11th to 13th October in New Delhi. I also welcome Chairperson Competition Commission of India, Ms. Ravneet Kaur, members of CCI, Shri Anil Agarwal, Shri Deepak Anurag, and Ms. Shweta Kakkar. The BRICS conference will focus on the theme New Issues in Competition Law and Policy, Dimensions, Perspectives, Challenges. In today's media briefing, we will first have remarks by the chairperson, who will present an overview of the upcoming conference. After that, there will be the question and answer session. So before we start the conference, as always, I remind you to kindly keep your mobile phones on silent mode while the briefing is in progress. Now I hand over the dais to the chairperson for her remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good afternoon and warm welcome to you at this Curtain Raiser event, which is the precursor to the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference 2023, scheduled to be held from 11th to 13th of October this month. The BRICS International Conference was first contemplated in the year 2009 with a focus on challenges of competition policy development in BRICS countries. The platform is aimed at promoting cooperation, experience sharing, and mutual learning amongst the competition authorities of BRICS countries. The genesis of the conference can be traced back to the then BRIC summit in Russia on 16th of June 2009, wherein a joint declaration was issued highlighting the need for cooperation in various aspects of economic growth and sustainable development. The first conference was hosted in September 2009 by Russia, followed by conferences in China in 2011, India in 2013, South Africa in 2015, and Brazil in 2017. Thereafter, we started the second round of conferences, which began with Russia hosting the conference in 2019, followed by China in 2021. And now we are here for the 8th BRICS ICC 2023, which is going to be hosted by India. The conference is being organized at the Ashok, New Delhi, and the theme is New Issues in Competition Law and Policy, Dimensions, Perspectives, Challenges. This two-day international conference will commence with registration on 11th of October. Honorable Justice Ashok Bhushan, Chairperson of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, will be delivering the keynote address during the inaugural session on 12th October. We have had a great deal of interest from delegates from all across the globe. Currently, we are having more than 600 delegates who have registered for this conference, which includes competition authorities of BRICS and non-BRICS countries, competition law experts, non-government advisors, and domestic invitees. BRICS 2023 will be a seminal event for the Competition Commission of India, as it is being held in India after a decade. Over the last one decade, since 2013, the competition landscape has evolved significantly, especially with the rise of digital economies, big tech companies, and increasing importance of sustainability. These changes have brought new challenges and opportunities. The theme of the conference underscores the evolving nature of competition law and policy. In the face of these rapid technological advancements, global economic shifts, and changing market dynamics, During the conference, we propose to explore new dimensions, gain diverse perspectives, and address the challenges that these new issues present. The conference will have 3 plenary and 4 breakout sessions. During the first plenary session, BRICS joint documents on leniency program and digital economy report will be released and discussed. The working group on cartels, led by the Russian Competition Authority, FAS Russia, has prepared the report on review of leniency programs in the BRICS countries. Whereas BRICS working group on digital markets, led by CADE Brazil, has prepared the second report, which is titled BRICS in the Digital Economy, Competition Policy in Practice. The second plenary session will deliberate on new issues in competition law and policy in BRICS countries. And the third plenary session will broach discussions on promoting soft law tools to create a pro-competitive environment in the markets. The conference will also have 4 breakout sessions, each one focusing on contemporary issues, which are competition analysis in digital economy, big technologies and algorithms. Number 2, sustainability and climate change, new dimensions in competition law. Number 3, role of market studies in emerging competition issues. And fourthly, challenges in merger control, international perspectives. Towards the conclusion of the conference, the heads of the BRICS competition authorities will meet on the sidelines of the conference on 13th October and sign a joint declaration, which is a testimony to our common vision and collaborative spirit. As the chairperson of Competition Commission of India, I take immense pleasure in inviting you to be a part of this journey as we pen a new chapter in the annals of competition law and policy, a chapter of collaboration, learning, and mutual progress. Thank you for your attention, and I'm looking forward to meeting you again during the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now we will move to the question and answer session. Kindly introduce yourself before asking the question. Yes. 41.
Hi, Ma'am Girish from Mint. Ma'am, if you could give an idea about what are the areas where you are having, discussions with your counterparts in other countries, where we can have, we can introduce more of global best practices into our rules and regulations and approaches. Thank you.
So the primary objective with which we are having this BRICS International Competition Conference is basically to foster cooperation, share experiences and learnings. Now, as I mentioned, the areas which we are going to be looking at are part of our plenary session and our breakout sessions. I can go over the details of that again. Apart from that, what has happened is in the last more than a year, we've been working on that joint documents or joint reports which are going to be released during the conference, where one of which is on the leniency programs and the other is on digital markets. So these are the specific outcomes which we have been preparing for, and these documents will be shared with all the members, all the delegates and also the press, where we have looked at the experiences of all the countries in these 2 areas. So on leniency, what is the thing, how things are working in Brazil, in Russia, China, India, and South Africa, what are their experiences, what are the learnings that we can draw from that. Similarly, looking at digital markets, what is the processes which are being followed by them, and how their journey has been going on so far in that direction. So that is the basic two outcomes which we are looking at. Of course, each of the sessions, we are taking up very important contemporary issues in each of them. And this agenda has been drawn up jointly. So we have been discussing this agenda, and depending on the priorities which are being shared with us, we have accordingly drawn up the agenda for this conference.
Next, 93.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, there were two questions.
Yeah.
One, you've talked about digital economy and how that will be part of the discussions. Could you give us any update on what is happening with our own digital competition law? What is the broad thinking? And second question was that after some time, CCI now has a full quorum, but you have 4 members. In case of a deadlock, what is the solution that CCI can resort to? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Coming to the first one, we've had some very substantive amendments which have been made in the Competition Act 2023. So these have, some of them have already been notified, some of them are in the process of being notified. They are meant to address the challenges which we have been facing in the recent past. A very important change which will come through is this issue of deal value thresholds. Because we were finding that in the case of digital markets, they may not be charging for the services. But then when you look at their use of data, there are a lot of issues which come in terms of data concentration and the self-preferencing, the anti-steering provisions which are there. So with a view to address those kind of mergers and combinations, there could even be one could look at killer acquisitions where the companies may be very small startups but having great deal of potential, and they would promote competition. So the deal value threshold is meant to capture those transactions which fall in that domain. The other changes which have been made are with regard to the being, more moving towards trust-based regulation. So we're looking at settlement and commitments, that wherever there are some reports which are received by the Commission with regard to contraventions, with regard to anti-competitive practices or abuse of dominance in markets. So then the companies can come forward and make commitments so that the markets can be corrected much quicker, and we would play along so that we are promoting ease of doing business, we are fostering innovation in markets. So with those objectives, now these changes have come in. And you might be aware, we've also started the process of public consultation. So some of these regulations are already in the public domain. We've had a consultation process on settlement and commitments, and we've had a consultation on combination. So whatever inputs we have received now, we are going to be working on them. Your second question with regard to the commission. The commission is meant to be a authority which has got a chairperson and 3 members. So we are very happy that we are now full quorum. And the way the commission has worked in the last 14 years, it has always been that we have decided matters together. So we do not have a system of bench, and I do not expect that there would be any difficulties in the future.
243.
गुड आफ्टरनून मैम, आलोक प्रियदर्शी हूँ CNBC आवाज़ से। मेरा पहला सवाल ये है कि जो साल की शुरुआत में जो CCI अमेंडमेंट एक्ट पास हुआ, सरकार ने पास किया, उसके बाद एंटी ट्रस्ट रेगुलेटर को काफ़ी पावर मिला है। उस जो अमेंडमेंट्स हुए हैं वो अभी तक कितना इम्प्लीमेंट हो पाया है, उसके कितने अभी, जैसे आपने बताया डील वैल्यू मर्जर उसमें का एक पार्ट है, अभी तक कितना उसको आप लोग इम्प्लीमेंट कर पाए हैं? और दूसरा जो GST के मामले थे जिसको लेकर कहा गया है कि जो एंटी प्रॉफिटरी के मामले होंगे वो सब CCI देखेगा, तो अभी तक कितने ऐसे मामलों पर आप लोगों ने सुनवाई की है और कितने मामले अभी तक आप लोगों ने उसको वो किया है, कंप्लीट कर लिया है उसको?
ठीक है, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले जिक्र किया था कि इस साल मार्च अप्रैल के महीने में कंपटीशन अमेंडमेंट एक्ट 2023 पास हुआ। उसके उपरांत जो उसमें अमेंडमेंट्स की गई थी, जो उसमें संशोधन किए गए थे, जो उनमें लागू किए जा सकते थे उनको मई और जून में नोटिफाई कर दिया गया है। कुछ ऐसे उसमें अमेंडमेंट्स करी गई थी जिनको के लागू करने के लिए हमें उसकी जो रूल्स में तब्दीली करने की ज़रूरत है या नई रेगुलेशंस लाने की ज़रूरत है। तो वो काम जो है अब चल रहा है। उसमें जो सेटलमेंट और कमिटमेंट की रेगुलेशंस थी वो ड्राफ्ट करके पब्लिक डोमेन में आ गई। जो हमारी रेगुलेशन है कॉम्बिनेशन की, जिसमें वो डील वैल्यू थ्रेशोल्ड आएगा और जिसमें हमें जल्दी फ़ैसला करने के लिए टाइमलाइंस भी थोड़ी शॉर्टन करी गई हैं, वो भी कंसल्टेशन में आ चुके हैं। जहाँ तक लीनियंसी प्लस का संबंध है, लीनियंसी प्लस में हमने कहा था कि अगर कोई इन्फॉर्मेंट एक कार्टेल के बारे में जानकारी देता है तो वो एक और कार्टेल के बारे में भी जानकारी दे सकता है, उसको हम इंसेंटिवाइज करेंगे। तो उसके लिए जो हमारी लीनियंसी प्लस रेगुलेशंस हैं वो जल्द ही पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन में आ जाएंगी। हमारी जो कमीशन है पहले उनको ड्राफ्ट किया गया है, उसके बाद सारी कमीशन के समक्ष वो पेश होने के बाद उनको हमने पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन में जल्दी ही उसको भेज देंगे। दूसरा जो एंटी प्रॉफिटियरिंग का था, हाँ, एंटी प्रॉफिटियरिंग का जो काम था वो कमीशन को पिछले साल दिसंबर के महीने में सौंपा गया था, परंतु उसके उपरांत कमीशन का कोरम नहीं था। तो जब हमारा कोरम पूरा हुआ, जो कि पिछले कमीशन के मेंबर्स थे, तो उस समय हमारा कोरम 3 का पूरा था। उस समय हमने ये सारा काम शुरू कर दिया है और आपको जान के खुशी होगी कि हमने बहुत सारे उसमें जो मुद्दे थे, बहुत सारे केसेस हैं, उनको हल कर दिया है और हर हफ्ते उसकी मीटिंग्स हो रही हैं और उनको जो है जल्दी ही टेकअप किया जा रहा है।
नंबर 11
जी।
मैम तरुण शर्मा फ्रॉम जी बिजनेस। मैम मेरे 2 सवाल हैं। एक तो मैम डिजिटल कंपटीशन बिल की जो रिपोर्ट है, जो कमेटी बनाई गई थी, वो रिपोर्ट कब तक सबमिट हो जाएगी? सेकेंडली मैम, सीसीआई तो अपने ऑर्डर पास कर देता है, लेकिन मैम पिछले कई केसेस ऐसे हैं जो 10-10 साल से कोर्ट में अटके हुए हैं। तो मैम इस चीज़ के लिए कोई डिस्कशन विद लॉ मिनिस्ट्री की केसेस जल्दी टेकअप हों? एनएससी मेट्रोपॉलिटन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज का ऑर्डर 10 साल पहले सीसीआई ने पास किया था, वो आज तक हेयरिंग में नहीं आया। सीमेंट के केसेस हैं, स्टील के केसेस हैं, मैम इस पे कोई डिस्कशन सीसीआई की तरफ से?
जी, 2 आपने मुद्दे रेस किए हैं। एक तो आपने कहा कि डिजिटल जो है उसमें क्या एक्शन लिया जा रहा है। तो वन इशू जो है कि पार्लियामेंट्री कमेटी की रिकमेंडेशन आई थी सेइंग कि भाई आप एक कमेटी बना के इस चीज़ को देखिए कि क्या हमारे जो करंट प्रोविजंस हैं, जो करंट प्रावधान हैं कंपटीशन एक्ट में, वो क्या एडिक्वेट हैं डिजिटल मार्केट्स के इश्यूज़ को एड्रेस करने के लिए, क्या बेस्ट प्रैक्टिसेस हैं और हमें क्या इसके बारे में करना चाहिए। तो उसके लिए भारत सरकार ने एक कमेटी बनाई थी जिसमें कि सेक्रेटरी कॉर्पोरेट अफेयर्स उनके चेयरमैन हैं और मैं भी मेंबर हूं और भी मेंबर्स लिए गए हैं फ्रॉम वेरियस स्टेक होल्डर्स। उस कमेटी की कई मीटिंगें हो चुकी हैं और अब उसको जो है ड्राफ्ट कंसिडरेशन, इट्स अंडर कंसिडरेशन इस समय। उसका समय जो है वो सरकार की ओर से 31 अक्टूबर 2023 तक बढ़ाया गया है। तो इसके बारे में मुझे उम्मीद है कि सरकार इसके ऊपर जल्द ही कुछ ना कुछ कार्रवाई करेगी। हाँ जी, कोर्ट केसेस के बारे में आपको जान के खुशी होगी कि इस जो इशू है कि हमारी बहुत पेंडेंसी रहती है, इसको 2 तरीके से हम एड्रेस कर रहे हैं। एक तो हमारे साथ जो है एनक्लैट हैज़ बीन वेरी हेल्पफुल। उन्होंने एक डेडिकेटेड बेंच बनाया हुआ है जो कि हमारे जो केसेस हैं, क्योंकि ये हो रहा था कि जो केसेस आईबीसी के थे वो टाइम बाउंड होने के कारण उनको थोड़ा प्रेसिडेंस मिल रहा था, उनको ज़्यादा प्रायोरिटी दी जा रही थी। तो उसको एड्रेस करने के लिए एनक्लैट ने एक डेजिग्नेटेड बेंच बना के अलग से हमारे मैटर्स जो हैं वो टेकअप कर रहे हैं। तो इसलिए मुझे उम्मीद है कि हमें ज़्यादा देर वेट नहीं करनी पड़ेगी और हमारे जो मामले लंबित हैं अलग अलग अदालतों में, उनको जल्दी ही उनका शीघ्र ही उनका रेजोल्यूशन होगा। दूसरा, जैसे मैंने आप शुरू में भी जिक्र किया था कि जो हमारा ये प्रोसेस है एंटी ट्रस्ट का, इसमें इन्वेस्टिगेशन होती है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बाद फिर पार्टीज़ की सुनवाई के बाद कमीशन की ओर से फ़ैसला लिया जाता है। तो कई बार ये हो रहा था कि फ़ैसले लेने में समय लग रहा था, तो उसी को एड्रेस करने के लिए ही सरकार ने इस साल जो हमारा नया अमेंडमेंट किया है, सेटलमेंट और कमिटमेंट का प्रोविज़न किया है, वो फ्रेमवर्क एक दिया है, उसी के माध्यम से हम जो है जल्दी ही मार्केट करेक्शन कर पाएंगे और जो एंटी कंपेटिटिव बिहेवियर है उसको हम कर्ब कर देंगे।
100.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm Srivat from Business Line newspaper. So, ma'am, my question is in the context of the BRICS International Conference. So, could you give us some sense on where the collaboration, the scope of the collaboration could get extended to? Do we see a scenario in future where the BRICS countries will cooperate in enforcement actions also, or would it remain to be only a collaboration around capacity building and training?
Okay, thank
So
you.
basically on the cartel, international cartels, do we see CCI collaborating with other BRICS members on enforcement against international cartels? And second question, ma'am, is on this digital competition law. If you could throw some light on where does CCI stand? Do you at all favor a separate digital competition law with an ex-ante mechanism, given the fact that the Competition Amendment Act had already brought in several provisions to address the digital markets?
Yeah, thank you. When it comes to cooperation with the international agencies, there are two developments which are happening simultaneously. One is that the companies are now, looking at big tech companies, we're looking at global players, we're looking at gatekeeper platforms. So there is a need for us to look at cooperation with other international competition, other competition authorities in other countries, so that we are able to effectively address whatever the issues are coming up. Now, the MOU is a very important instrument available to us, through which allows for cooperation, and we can share experiences, we can share insights, we also do joint studies also, so that we understand the markets better. Now, when it comes to enforcement, we have to be very careful in terms of enforcement, because each authority has its own legal framework. Each authority has its own different ecosystem. Each country has its own different ecosystem. So while we look at cooperation in the field of enforcement, we cannot look at coordinated action. It has to be under the relevant statute. So I feel that the MOU empowers us enough to look at cooperation on issues which are being faced by various countries and which are beyond the borders. Number two, your question was with regard to digital competition law. Now, digital competition law is a requirement which the parliamentary committee had indicated that the government should look at. Government is examining that. We are also part of that group. There have been some subgroups constituted by the committee in which our officers have been providing inputs. So we are sharing all the inputs with the government on need basis, and also our insights, our experiences in the last 14 years, how things have gone, and I expect that the government will take a decision on that. I don't think it would be appropriate on my part to give any comment about something which is being under consideration with the government. We are very actively involved and we have shared our views. Let's wait for the outcome.
Yes, 154.
Madam, things is not good for the CCI even the countries, BRICS countries are, so in case of the, conference, it is within the BRICS countries or it will be the, in addition the other countries also?
The conference is a BRICS International Competition Conference. We are having the heads of competition authorities coming from BRICS countries. But I had extended an invitation to all members of the International Competition Network. So we had invited all of them, and we would be happy to know that they have also enrolled. So it is, we are getting participants and delegates from about 20 odd countries. So BRICS are only 4 countries, so we are having participation from various parts of the world. In fact, we have participation on various continents.
Any more questions, please? Okay, 47.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Anupam from All India Radio. Ma'am, I want to know, you mentioned about Justice Ashok Bhushan is coming for delivering keynote address. Who are the other prominent persons from India and BRICS countries who are coming?
We have a very detailed agenda which will be put on the website immediately after this. So that will provide you a list of all the speakers. So we have speakers coming in from the various countries. Then there are these non-government advisors. We are having from the World Bank, we have one of the speakers. Then there is the UNCTAD. So you would be able to see the details of all the various speakers once the agenda is available. I think we can share it with you also here. The detailed agenda is drawing up the names of all of the speakers. And we're having a good deal of participation. It's going to be, it's very well received, in fact. The kind of interest we have got from the delegates is a clear testimony to that.
Are there any more questions? I think there are not any more questions, and as Madam has also invited the entire media to join the conference on 12th and 13th, so we would like to extend that invitation to you once again. I would like to thank the chairperson for her exhaustive briefing and the other dignitaries on the dais for their presence, and thank you friends for joining the press conference. Thank you so much.